as the greatest engine of wealth creation that the world has ever known. But what I also believe is that markets that are unregulated, markets that are not subject to other values, and are not steered towards addressing problems that you maybe can't make money solving, but need to be solved, like climate change. That in the absence of that, as we saw in the 20s and 1890s, its excesses can do terrible things. And I think the challenge we've had with globalization is that you have an international economy, an international finance, and you do not have, and you have nation states who have had limited ability to, in some cases, help channel the markets in ways that are good for people. And this is an example of what I mean in the 1990s, 2000s. I think there was a sort of a Davos-style, it's all good.
The end of history.
Yeah, end of history, McDonald's everywhere, the internet, everybody's going to be happy, you can order your jeans online. There was a sense that justice, equity, didn't matter. And I think that was a mistake. And the truth of the matter is that markets, as Adam Smith wrote, need a moral underpinning to work, because it requires trust. And it requires people sense that, all right, the system's fair, it's not rigged. And that's what we've been seeing dismantled. Even before in the United States, that wasn't just happening because of my successor. There were a lot of battles I had to fight when I came into office in 2008. The global economy was collapsing because of a bunch of shenanigans on Wall Street and a lack of transparency that was enormously destructive. So I do think that it is one of the challenges we face is how do we preserve the efficiencies and benefits of the market, but make sure that the market is serving all people and not just some, not just a very few. And I also believe that, and this is a related concern, markets, capitalism, advertising have made us judge everything on the basis of dollars, cents, pounds, I guess that euros, sorry. We have become very materialistic without any countervailing values that would say, well, there's some things that are more important than just making money. There are some things that how we treat vulnerable people matters. Integrity and character and honesty matter. Honor and duty and self-sacrifice and thinking about future generations matter. And that has been dismissed as sort of a sucker's game. That if you think that way, well, you know, that's some soft-headed, fuzzy-headed stuff. And in some cases, I think progressives participated in that. They became so obsessed with material things that they lost a language that spoke to some higher values. And obviously, religion used to provide that counterweight. Some of the problems with organized religion, I think, made people cynical about that kind of language. And I think there was a counterculture that used to also provide a counterweight, at least when I was growing up. Like rock and roll and, you know, R&B actually sang about things other than just having a Patek or whatever these watches are, or Maybach, or and you had a sense of culture striving to push against, you know, that everything is bought and sold, everything's transactional. And we've lost that as well. And so what's interesting is when you're playing on that field in which everything's materialistic, everything's based on dollars and cents, that's the only value, that plays into the hands of authoritarians. That plays into the hands of people who that plays into the hands of people who think in those terms. So I'm being maybe a little too abstract here. Let me be very specific. I would like to see, when we talk about democracy, when we talk about justice, when we talk about equality, I would like us to also be talking about some old-fashioned values that had to do with how we treat each other and how we see ourselves and what gives purpose and meaning to our lives. And in the absence of that kind of language, I think we're playing on somebody else's field or pitch.